Alright guys, so these are some of the traps that I used this year that were pretty dirty and stuff, so I just finished getting them all washed up and I laid them out here to dry, and a couple of them are already waxed and the rest of them, like none of my dog proofs, I didn't wax them. They were new and I just degreased them and threw them out in the field, but as you can see they've already got a really good coat of rust on them, so once they dry I will go ahead and wax and dye and wax them. But I still have that whole brand new box of coyote traps that I bought, and I still have to degrease them first. Haven't even got them out of the box, so I'm gonna let these dry and I'm gonna go get those others out of the box. Alright, so here's our box, and as you can see I ain't got the tags or nothing off of them, so I'm gonna get all these tags off of these and we're gonna get them into the pot that I have that is ready to get them degreased. Man, guys, I cannot wait to put these things to use. I cannot wait. Alright, let's get them degreased. Alright, got all 10 of our traps in there, and all I use is my pot that I do my canning in. That's just what works best for me when I have this many traps. So all 10 of them fit in there, and I'm going to let these probably sit about 24 hours just until the bubbles clear and I can see down in there. And sometimes I'll already go ahead and start getting a little bit of rust, and then I'll take them out and rinse them off real good and let them air dry. Get a thick coat of rust and we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so it is the next day, and as you can see the bubbles have cleared, and look at that nice coat of rust on them. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out and let these guys air dry, and so we can get on to dyeing and waxing them. Some of these are going to have more rust than others, but once you let the air get to them and they fully dry, it'll definitely start to get on them pretty good, because that rust is important, because that's what helps your dye stick to them a whole lot better if they got that rust to stick to. So that's why you want your rust. And sometimes it comes off and you gotta pull them out. That's all right. That one's all. I'm gonna let go. Alright, there's our traps, so I'm going to carry them around in my back porch and let them air dry. Alright, so I got my traps laid out. As you can see, these are the ones that I done last night, and they are all dry. The two black right there, those are the ones that have already been dyed and waxed, and so, you know, they're not completely clean, but they're pretty clean for the most part. Some of that's just stained. I mean, they gotta be perfect, but they're pretty cleaned up, so I will put them back with the others, and then this one right here and all these dog proofs I'm going to dye and wax at the same time I do these. And as you can see, where that air is already starting to get to them, you can see some of them are already, they're starting to turn. So and that's what you want. You want as much rust as you can get, so that way that dye will stick to them really well. It's like this trap and these right here, they've already got that nice coat of rust. That dye is going to stick really, really well to them. But yep, so let these guys get air dried and we will move on to the next step. Alright, so this was a trap that a friend of mine gave me, and it's pretty rusted. It hasn't been used in years. So I just soaked it overnight in some white vinegar and water. And as you can see, when I do my finger like that, you can see that rust is coming right off. That's what you want. Coming right off. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out. I've never used this type of trap before, but I'm anxious to use it this season. That's pretty clean for the most part. It's probably about as good as I'm going to get it. That's pretty clean. And I'll sit it out there with the others and let it air dry real good. And I will, probably tomorrow, I will get them all dyed and waxed up and ready to go for this season. Yep, there she is. Alright y'all, so as you can see I have a big pot of water boiling right now. I'm getting ready to dye my traps. So let this get real good and hot, and then I'm going to pour my logwood trap dye in it. And as it says, you let them boil for about an hour. So let this get real good and hot, and then we're going to pour this in and get started. Alright, so I'm going to call that good, and I'm going to go ahead and pour this dye in. Just take this spoon and stir it in the best you can. Alright, so as you can see I got that all mixed in, and that's what it'll look like. I'll have that little foam layer on top, and now I'm just going to start putting my traps in. Alright, starting to get pretty full. I'm going to leave that hanging out to the side like that. Just want to barely stick out. There we go. Well, almost. There. Alright, so I'm going to leave those setting for an hour. It's still pretty full. It is full. And I got still a few more traps over in this box, but I'm going to let those cook for about an hour, and then I will pull them out and I'll put the next batch in. This is the rest of my traps. It can dye up to anywhere from 12 to 24 traps, so once I pull those out, it'll still be good to stick these in and get them going. You tell these are mine. Still got some of my new ones in here, and these are the ones I've used that need to be redone. So we'll let those go for an hour, and then we'll put these in. Alright, so it has been an hour that these traps have been in here, so we're going to go ahead and start pulling them out. Alright, so here's those traps that I pulled out, and as you can see they're drying and looking really, really good. So that was an older one that I had more rust on it, so that's why it's that charcoal black, but these new ones turned out real nice. And so we're going to let them dry, and then we're going to go put those others in and let them get started. That one to go down in there all the way. Alright, so leave that chain hanging out like that. If they have chains, it's always best and a whole lot easier to leave them hanging out on the side. Just so you can, it's a whole lot easier, so that way when they're done, you can just pull them right out. Alright, so I got the rest of my traps in there, so we're going to let them sit for about an hour and then we will get them out. Alright, so this is the rest of the traps, and they are dyed. They look really, really good. Charcoal black. So we're going to let those dry, and then after those dry, I will work on waxing them. Alright guys, so I'm here, we are now waxing the traps, and I completely forgot to even start making a video of it. So I've already gotten my wax melted in here, so I'm just taking each one of these and dipping them. I leave them sitting in there for about 15 seconds, and then I pull them out. As you can see, these three have already been dipped. Big difference between those and these. So I'm just taking them one by one, dipping them in for about 15 seconds, and then pulling them out. Let them drip. Normally you're supposed to have a place, you know, it's best if you have a place to hang them up, but I don't. I just leave them sitting on this cardboard, and then any excess wax that's on them, I just file it off or whatever. But normally I don't have a problem this way. Just lay it down right there. Get to the next one. And the chain part, I don't ever usually care about. I mean, you know, it doesn't hurt. At the same time, as long as my trap is waxed, that's all I care about. Let that drip a little bit. Get all the excess off, and then I just set it over here. And I found you're having to do it the way I'm doing it. The best way is to let it dry about halfway, and then I'll set it up right so that way that excess runs off and it doesn't dry all on the top. That's what I did with this one, and it turned out real nice and smooth. Some of these have a little bit excess, but overall they look really great. Turning out really nice. So I've got that one. I'll let him dry, and then I'll flip them up, and then I have these four left, and we'll be done. And then the next step I'm going to do, probably not today, but is seeing what the poundage on these new ones are, and if I need to fix them or if I'm just going to leave them. Because our main goal is coyotes, so normally they should be good. Usually 3 to 4, possibly 5 pounds is good for a coyote. I like mine either between 3 or 4. So we're going to see what these are on, and then see if we need to fix them or not. Alright, so that is the last of my traps. Got all these guys dyed and waxed. Look really good. Look really good. So, probably do it a different day, but I'm going to be testing my new ones to see what the poundage is on them, if I need to lower or up it. But yeah, other than that, these guys are ready to go for this coming season. I cannot wait. It's been killing me not being able to trap. But this past season was a tough one just due to the harsh winter we had and stuff. So this break has been nice, but I am certainly ready to get back at it. But y'all just stay with me. Things are kind of slow around here besides, getting my traps and stuff ready. Nothing else I've really been doing except for tending some of my hides, and I have made videos of that. I just haven't posted it yet, but I probably will be doing that soon. But otherwise, I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.